Coach Victoria here. As many of you know, I am one of the paddle performance coaches here at Paddle Monster and also the sports nutritionist. I wanted to give a quick talk about the off season that we're in now. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about people's upcoming seasons, their performance goals, when they think they should start, etc. And I think that the off season is very undervalued. Not enough emphasis is put on what we do during the next 12 to 16 weeks of this off season, and we are mainly focused on our on season or our competitive season time because of course it's the most fun and you have the most interaction with races and competition. But that's actually the time that we want to already be ready and we need to be focused on our competition. So in paddling for the next 12 to 16 weeks, we are in what's considered an off season. I'm sure everybody here knows about what that is, but if you don't, this off does not mean off, like taking off of all working out. Yes, of course, you need to take a couple of weeks when you're finished with your season. I always recommend about 2 to do fun activities, active rests, things that aren't necessarily paddling, nice slow pace, no stress, just relax physically, relax mentally. You don't want to sit on the couch for 2 weeks, but just an active rest period. But then it's time that we move into our next season, which just happens to be called off. This is probably one of the most important times of your training program. It sets the pace. You can get your baselines where you're at from your previous season. This is due to testing measures that actually we do here at Paddle Monster. I'm offering it now with my custom plans to do Zoom sessions to get your baselines. It's a time where we actually lay the foundation for growth over the next couple months to lead us into our season. Now, to me, that seems like it's extremely important because the last thing I want to do is go into my season ready to hit the road and try to race without having a solid foundation, right? So we want to make sure that foundation is super, super solid. This is with all levels too, by the way. It's not just with the top pros in the world. It's with all levels, no matter what you're coming from. If you want to see growth, if you want to see development, if you want to do a faster mile for yourself, if you have a goal of a faster mile for yourself, you have to be set up on a structured training plan, and that includes the proper off-season. So during the off-season, we focus on moderate volume, lower intensity type work. It is periodized. It brings you up to your season. We're working on developing our aerobic base. We also focus on developing our skills, dialing in our technique, working on some of our weaknesses from the last season, some of our imbalances, even things like mobility we work on in our off-season. We work on it too during our in-season, but we really focus on things like that on our off-season. How can we get better from the previous season into the next? And this is the time now. We have the time during the off-season. We have 12 to 16 weeks. That's 3 to 4 months, which seems like a lot of time, but we know it goes by quick. But we have that time to develop slowly and allow the body to adapt to these changes that we're going to make and really, really get that foundation going. It's not just with performance either. We have an off-season for nutritional practices. Things change nutritionally when we are in our off-season. Our intensities of the workouts are changing. Therefore, we are not going to eat the same. We want to make sure we maintain a good body composition throughout our off-season so that way when we come into on-season, we're not sitting here trying to decrease our body fat mass or increase lean muscle mass in ways that we could have done for 3 or 4 months in 2 weeks. It's not a good way to do things. So now we have 3 or 4 months to develop our body composition the way we want. We have different energy expenditure during our off-season, so we have to make sure we adjust that nutritionally so that way we're meeting our goals for the off-season. It also gives you time to prepare nutritionally for your future season. For an example, if you are planning on doing endurance type of events for your next year, during this off-season, you're going to focus on increasing your fat intake and allowing your body to learn how to use fats for fuels over the next 3 to 4 months. And your body does learn how to use fat for fuels. So this It's not just like an automatic thing. You can train it to use fat for fuels. This can be extremely helpful in endurance events, increasing your fat storage for endurance events. You can have plenty of time to do so. And I'm just using that as an example, but even if you're not doing ultra endurance or endurance events, there's different nutritional strategies that you can practice during the off season. Sometimes folks have goals of decreasing their carbohydrate intake, or they want to go on this diet or that diet or whatever it might be. I've had many questions. This is now the time to practice that to see how your body responds to those practices. Just because you think carbohydrates are bad, which they're not, and now you want to try a low carbohydrate diet, which is fine, try it. The in-season is not the time to try it. The off-season is. So this is why, and many other reasons, the off-season is so extremely important. I just wanted to discuss it a little bit with you. If you guys have any specific questions, please, please, please reach out to me or Larry. I'm sure he will be able to answer all your questions as well. But we do have training programs set up for the off-season right now that we're running. I have a novice, intermediate, and advanced program, and I'm also offering a very limited spots for custom programming, which includes full customization in your training program, paddling cardio, cross-training, land-based training, and some nutritional templates as well. So check out Paddle Monster. I just wanted to give you guys that little talk about the off-season. Hopefully it peps you up some and gives you a little bit of focus so you can get your head on in the next couple of months and have a great 2021, since that's what we all need. So if you have any questions, once again, just hit me up. Thanks.